Well, my name is Vanessa Hoynes, and I work with the NDSU Extension Service in Morton County in Mandan.
And I'm Rick Schmidt, the Oliver County Extension Agent up in Center.
And we're here to talk with you about careers. And NDSU Extension Service, our job is actually to bring the information from campus in Fargo at NDSU to all the people in the state. And so that's why we're out here in the other parts of North Dakota besides Fargo. But we're specifically going to talk today about careers. And so as you look at all these people up in front here, go ahead and point at those you think have something to do with agriculture. Okay, good job. Well, you know what? Guess what? It was a trick question. All of these careers have something to do with agriculture. We're going to start out by talking about our veterinarian over here. Now, what does a veterinarian do? Okay, helps animals when they're sick, right? And so if they're not feeling well or they need some other help, we will bring them to a vet, just like they're a doctor like we would use. So when we are sick and we go to a doctor, what does the doctor give us? Medicine, right. Well, we have an example of some medicine. This might be an example of a pill that we might give a cow or a steer. So what do you think about the size of that? Pretty big. So now next time you're sick, we don't want to hear any complaints about taking your medicine, okay? Just think about this one. But now you're right. There is a particular tool that we use to help the cow or steer be able to take this medicine. It goes right down into their throat, so they don't have to worry about swallowing it. It just gets right where it needs to go to help them out. Okay, our next career is a food scientist. Now, what might a food scientist do? Yes. Okay, right. They experiment with food. They're checking to see if the food is healthy. And when they check that, they're trying to get the information that we need to have on our labels. So how many of you use the nutrition facts label when you're shopping? Okay, reading through there to make sure you know what kind of nutrition you're getting from that food. A food scientist helps to find that information out. The other thing a food scientist does is that they try and make sure that our food is safe, so it has nothing that would harm us. And so they're testing for that also. And then they're also creating new kinds of foods. Maybe some foods that have special purposes. For example, sun butter might be something that somebody that is allergic to peanuts might choose to use sun butter because it's a product that's kind of like peanut butter, only it's made out of sunflower seeds. And so they're helping to devise new different products for us all the time. Now, how about our forester? What do they do? Yes. Okay, they study the wood and look at forests, and they're trying to make sure that our trees stay healthy. Now, why are trees important to us? Yes. Right, they give us oxygen, and so that helps the whole environment to stay healthy, making sure we have enough oxygen. And the other important thing that trees do in North Dakota is that they help to stabilize our soil. I'm sure in the last few weeks you've heard news stories about mudslides in California. Now the reason that happens is because they've had, a few years ago maybe they had a forest fire and took out all those trees that would have stabilized that soil. Now we don't have mudslides in North Dakota, but what do we have that might move the soil from one place to another? Okay, floods will, but what else? The wind. We have lots of wind. And so when you're driving out in the countryside, you probably notice that there might be rows of trees that are planted, and then there's a big space, and there's another big row of trees. Those are called windbreaks. And they plant those, farmers plant them to keep the soil in their area on their land so that they don't lose it. If the wind comes up, it doesn't blow from one field to another. So that helps, the forester helps to stabilize our land.
I'm going to talk to you about why your education is important to you. If you're thinking about careers in agriculture, there's probably 3 subject matters that are really important to getting good jobs. Who can tell me what maybe the most important subject would be to being a good person in agriculture? What subject do you think would be most beneficial to be good at? Social studies, pretty close. Science is probably number 1. Number 2 might be, okay, heard that one, math. Math is probably number 2, and the other one is communication. You can have a lot of brilliant ideas. You can come up with new scientific things that will help people make their lives easier. And then you have to have the ability to market that to people. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the importance of science and math in production agriculture. Who thinks tractors have the ability to drive themselves? Okay, actually they do. It's being run off of satellites through GPS and GIS information from satellites up in the sky. Tractors have the ability to follow a pattern. Let's say you pull a 40-foot drill. You can drive up the field, and if you have a 40-foot drill, you turn your tractor around and you hit your auto steer with your tracking, and it'll move exactly 40 feet down the field the other way without even touching the steering wheel. We have a lot of technology that helps us become better producers and make agriculture much more simple. And think about all the things that we can do with a good education. If you think of careers in agriculture, by all means, we have extension agents that will help you in finding those careers that you may be interested in, and we'd hope that you consider it.